Are you ready to be blown away by a shocking and funny prediction of what will happen if the US dollar stops being the world's currency? Well, get ready to hear some pretty wild predictions. You won't believe what will happen when the world no longer uses the dollar. From the stock market to world travel, you'll be shocked to see how much will change. Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another amazing video on Primetime TV. So buckle up and get ready to join us on this wild ride of what will happen if the US dollar stops being the world's currency. We promise you won't be disappointed. If the dollar no longer remains the world's currency, it could be a real disaster. For starters, all of our prices would be a lot crazier. We have to start using some other currency and remember all new exchange rates. That's a lot of math. Also, all of the countries that use the dollar as their currency would have to scramble to find a new one. We'd probably have to spend a lot of money to print new money and get used to the new currency. It'd be a big hassle. And let's not forget about international trade and travel. Without the dollar, people would have to convert their money into a different currency every time they want to cross a border. That's a lot of extra work and fees. Nonetheless, we all have to get used to a new way of saying a buck or a $1.50. We have to come up with some new slang to describe money. That could be a lot of fun. So, if the dollar no longer remains the world's currency, there could be some major changes in the way we do things. It'd be a pain, but it could also be an adventure. Oh boy, things will get ugly. Nations will be in a mad scramble to figure out what their new currency will be. We can only imagine the absolute chaos that will ensue. Will it be the euro, the Chinese yuan, maybe the Mexican peso? What about the Indian rupee? Before we jump to what could the further possibilities be, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you'll get the latest updates always. The possibilities are endless. To make matters worse, all the major financial institutions, like banks and stock exchanges, would have to completely revamp their systems and software to accommodate the new currency. Well, this could be a bit of a bummer for the US. The US economy would definitely take a massive hit. People would be rushing to the banks to withdraw their money. The stock market would crash, and the IRS would get a lot less money from taxes. On the bright side though, the US would have a lot less debt and could start fresh. We could switch to a bartering system and trade goods for services. Instead of going to a restaurant, you could just trade a dozen eggs for a big juicy steak. And since it wouldn't be legal tender anymore, people could finally start using monopoly money. Imagine the possibilities. You could pay your rent with a hotel and a few railroads, and if you had really good luck at the game, you could even buy a house. But all jokes aside, it would be a huge adjustment for the US and the world. We have to find a new currency to replace the dollar, and it would take some time to get used to it. But hey, at least it would make for a great sitcom. Of course, one of the biggest impacts of the dollar no longer being the world's currency would be on international trade. Prices of goods and services would change drastically, and countries would be forced to renegotiate trade agreements with their trading partners. And then there's the small matter of all those people who keep their savings in dollars. They have to convert their money to the new currency or watch their savings diminish in value. It would be a real headache, to say the least. But hey, at least it would make for some really interesting conversations around the dinner table. If the dollar no longer remains the world's currency, it would be like a game of musical chairs but with a twist. Instead of someone being left without a seat, everyone would be left without money. The world would be in an economic crisis as no one would know what to do with their savings, investments, and currency. As a result, bartering and trading would become the new form of currency. People would be trading the weirdest of items, from the most interesting to the most outrageous. Everything from chickens to firewood would become a form of currency. People would be trading their skills, services, and even their jokes for goods and services. As a result, the world might become much more entertaining. Well, if the dollar no longer remains the world's currency, it could mean the end of the phrase, a dollar short and a day late. It would also mean that people would no longer be able to buy a dollar menu from their favorite fast food joint. But on the upside, it also means no more dollar store shopping. On a more serious note, it could mean a more diverse and entertaining global economy. Without the dollar as the world's currency, goods and services would be priced in a variety of different currencies, allowing people to experience different cultures and currencies. We could also expect to see more interesting festivals, events, and performances as other countries step up to showcase their own entertainment and culture. But of course, the most entertaining part of all would be the new sayings that will develop without the dollar as the world's currency. We could expect to hear sayings like a euro short and a day late, a rand short and a day late, or a yuan short and a day late. So, if a dollar no longer remains the world's currency, it could potentially be the end of a dollar menu, but it could also mean the start of a more diverse and entertaining global economy. Who knows, maybe the next time you head out to the store, you could be paying with a euro instead of a dollar. While the possibilities are endless, this would have a semi-face of both its pros and cons. What do you think? Share your thoughts below. Until the next video, bye and take care.